The Metro Library, serving Oklahoma County, presents the Oklahoma Cowboy Poetry Gathering, April 1st, 1989, the National Cowboy Hall of Fame.
Welcome to the first, but it won't be the last. You're going to see many, many, many annual events like this, bringing together the best of cowboy poets from around the country and around the state and around the region. The Metropolitan Library System is awfully and terribly proud to be the sponsor of this. We had the idea about a year and a half ago. We went to the State Arts Council. We told them we'd like to bring in cowboy poets. They never blinked. They said, we think that's a good idea, put it together and come talk to us. So we did. And I want to recognize the State Arts Council. I think we've got Willie Smythe here. Willie, where are you? Are you right in the back of the room? You're going to be seeing him downstairs. Is Betty Price here today? She may show up, the director. We also are very indebted to another co-sponsor, and that is the National Cowboy Hall of Fame. I haven't seen Byron this morning. Byron Price, are you here? We'll introduce him a little later today. Byron is a super guy. He's director of this National Cowboy Hall of Fame, and he met us more than halfway and has given us encouragement and inducements to keep this going, and he assured me last night that he would work with us to see that this is made into an annual event. So, if we start at 10 o'clock right on the nose, which we're supposed to, we're almost there by my watch. But we wanted Baxter Black and Wally McRae to say howdy and a word or two. Baxter and Wally, come on up and let people know who you are. Two of the greatest cowboys who ever slung their leg across a saddle. Wally McRae. Thank you. Poem about cowboy poetry. You know, 5 or 6 years ago when they started the National Cowboy Poetry Gathering in Elko, we didn't know there were all us folks out there, and it was a kind of a shock to us. And I got to thinking about that a while ago, and Baxter, when he comes out on stage, he wears this, I mean, when he's really beautiful, this costume that, were he not a friend of mine, I would be embarrassed. And I am anyway, because we're not that good friends. But Baxter comes out, and he says, it's not easy being a cowboy poet. And then how does it go? You gotta wear a costume that looks like a combination between Porter Wagner and Boy George. Well, I didn't pick up on the laugh line, but I picked up on the line that says it isn't easy being a cowboy poet. So, it's not easy being a cowboy poet. So says the good Dr. Black. Well, that's claptrap, and Baxter, he knows it, for there ain't no discernible lack of them hokey-poke cow rhymers. They're multiplying each day. Why, lately I heard this here rumor that Dow's developed a spray that they put in the booze up in Elko and applied on the envelope flaps that are self-addressed back to the gathering, and on the dice that we use to shoot craps. Librarians should ban Gail Gardner, Kiskadden, and Badger Clark too. Them cowboys are sweeping the country like scours, viral AIDS and the flu. And then it goes, I hear Frisco's got gay caballeros. That's why it's a forgettable line. See, I'm a little embarrassed by it. I hear Frisco's got gay caballeros. Dallas cowboys call signals in rhyme. Them cowboys are a plague for certain. Like drugs and mafia crime. Yeah, we must all do our part in this crisis. Since the solution is simple, you see, I urge you to sign my petition, banning all cowboy poets but me.
Over the ranch next day, Brown argued me most all the way. Said the cow punching was nothing but play, that it wasn't work at all. That all you had to do was ride was easy as drifting with the tidal. How that old son of gun lied, he certainly had his gall. He put me in charge of the cattle yard, and he told me not to work too hard, that all I had to do was guard the horses from getting away. I had 160 head, I sometimes wished that I was dead. If one got away, Brown's head turned red, and hair was hell to pay.
County fish. Haynesville.
Both of you same place?
We're about 2 miles apart.
What's your name?
Hank Riddle and Scott Walker.
Is this your first time to entertain, or
First,
have you ever been to a cowboy?
we sit around and play together before.
I see.
Just at home, you know.
You all write any poetry?
I'm going to do 2 original Western songs. One called Buffalo Songs, and another one called Old Cowboy.
Okay, what about you?
I'm just helping out.
I see. Appreciate y'all coming today. Okay, what's your job here?
I'm directing people, telling them where to go to find seminar rooms and the various functions that are going on.
See, what's your name and where you from?
I'm Lynn McGuffin, and I'm Del City Library circulation clerk.
I see. Anything you want to tell your staff?
No, except that we're having a very enjoyable day out here.
Well, thank you.
You have probably heard all through the poem that if you know some of these people in the cow business, you know they developed an odd form of logic that doesn't make sense until you get right to the end. Like this poem. The rancher sat across the desk, applying for a loan. He'd never borrowed cash before, he'd made it on his own. But times were hard, as he explained, and if they only could, he'd like to borrow 20 grand. Well, the banker understood. That doesn't sound unreasonable, although that's quite a lot. Your cows can be collateral. How many cows you got? 200 head, the rancher said. That's give or take a few. Well, that's enough, the banker said. Of course, there's interest due. In 3 months' time, the rancher came and paid the loan in full. But in his poke, he had some left. It was expendable. Why don't you leave that cash with me? The banker said, content. You put your money in my bank, I'll pay you 8%. The rancher paused. Now let me see. You gave me 20 grand. And then I paid you extra back for lending me a hand. Now I give you this pile of cash and you pay me this time. The extra that I done forked out at slightly over prime. The rancher nodded, or the banker nodded helpfully and lit himself a smoke. The rancher seemed to cogitate, and then he finally spoke. I ain't too good at high finance. You put me on the spot, but fair is fair. So tell me, sir, how many cows you got?
I get hit. My old case knife is razor sharp to slash across each hole where them bugger's fangs went. Still, it chills me to the soul, the planned self-mutilation, although it's necessary. Sucking that there poison out to me is awful scary. Oh, I reckon I could do it if my life was on the line, because I remembers when that varmint bit my hoss. Sweet Adeline. Now that pony was a kicker, of that there's little doubt. no man on earth could suck his leg to get the poison out, so his eyes, they glassied over and sweat just drenched his hide. And he shuddered, and then he staggered, and I stood there as he died. And sometimes I lays awake at night pondering on this, and I gets to speculate on this hypothesis. Say now, Sody, just for instance, we're out horseback someday, and old Cookie's beans just grab me in a most emphatic way. Now, I got no time to tarry, no sir, I'm in a rush, but propriety dictates that I got to find some brush. Well, I gets there, but just barely. There is no time to scout around and say, in this brush the viper, all coiled up on the ground. Now, I don't see him, but he sees me, and he feels crowded some, so he calculates trajectory and bites on the bum. Well, here I am all wounded, but I knows what must be done, so fishing out my sharp case knife, I carve X's on my bun. But this I do by braille. You see, I'm operating blind, but I carves out logger kisses all over my behind. But I can't suck the poison out because we ain't built for that. And then I thinks about you, Sody, and I yell, waves my hat. So you rides up. I tells you the awful fix I'm in. I'm checking all my bets to you. Just you can save my skin. My eyes is glazing over now. My sun is sinking fast. I'm remorseful of my sin-filled life. Regret my pinto past. This nightmare here is well water clear. I pictures in my mind. I'm dying there. The question is now, Sody, could you find it in your heart to help a pal whose friendship is devout and save my life by sucking all that rattler's poison out? Because the cowboy code, it tells the obligations of a friend. It says, I quote, a pal must be faithful to the end. Well, Sody rolled and lit a smoke. Said you're right about the cowboy code, but it don't cover sucking poison out. That faithful to the end you quote, I'd say, is misdefined. It dang sure don't require me to tend to your behind. If you get bit, I'll fan your face, help the time pass by. I'll speak soft words, but partner, you're damn sure gonna die.